mate. Now that's some nice Costco
Not bad for
wine.
$6. Okay, so I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was asking about you, and she was like, "Oh, like what's she doing? Like how's her life going?" And I
As
was
she
like,
should.
"Right." And I was like, "Oh, she's doing an unpaid production of Annie." And I was like so dead serious when I said it.
'Cause
And
I am.
the way that this woman laughed out loud and was like, "She's doing what?" And I was like, "She's doing an unpaid production of Annie." And she was like, "My life is an unpaid production of Annie." Mind you, she works in an elementary school. And so every day now when she goes to work, she texts me and she's like clocking in for my unpaid production of Annie.
And you know what? At least she's getting paid for
Yeah.
her unpaid production of Annie.
Right.
I'm not.
Paid production of Annie.
Paid production of Annie. I'm doing an unpaid production of Annie. But you know, you live and you
Mhm.
learn. And
And you learn to not do Annie.
I would do a paid production of Annie. For sure. Not again.
I don't know if I would do a paid production of Annie.
Why not?
I don't know. I just feel like it's like not my vibe of show that I would want to do. Depends on how much you're paying me.
And like who you'd play. Do you know the story?
Like enough.
Okay, who would you want to play? If you got a
That's why I don't think I'd want to play any of them. That's why.
Right.
That's why I think Annie's not the show for me.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I auditioned for Grace Farrell, but I don't think I should play Grace. I'm not elegant enough.
Yeah.
I'm way too much of a brat. I need to play a man and a servant, and I also need to play a boiling
Right.
sister, you know,
Right.
and a piece of shit man, you know.
You said,
And that's-
"Mom, I am a rich man."
Mama, I am a rich man. Mama. Cut that out. That can't be in there.
It can't be in there, but it was so funny.
Well, should we start this?
I guess we should. What are we doing?
Welcome to the first ever episode of That's My Line with Jen and Joss.
Who's who?
My name is Jenny Guðmundsdóttir. You guys can call me Jenny from the block.
Who's you guys? The cameras?
The people listening, I
The
hope.
fireplace on the TV?
Our moms.
Hi, Mama. Hi, Mom. My name is Jocelyn Daly. That's all she wrote.
Yeah. So why are
Jenny,
we doing a podcast?
What is this?
What
Why
is
am I
this?
here?
Oh, there goes our fireplace.
Oh, fuck.
I put on a fireplace video for the ambiance, and it just stopped.
And she's not back.
I am what is called a certified yapper. I've been thinking about making a podcast for some time, and I never knew what the premise should be. And then I was like, I wouldn't want to do it alone. And then I thought, who'd be the one person that I trust to do this with me, I like enough to hang out with and call it work and just yap with. And that is my good friend and best friend, Jocelyn Daly.
I was crossing the street and I get a text, "Bro, I want to make a podcast." And I said, "Sure."
And now we're here.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all she wrote. I feel like every 5 minutes I'm like, I should start a podcast. But it's just because I like to talk.
Me too.
I love talking.
And I feel like sometimes I have things to say that are interesting. And
I have
will interest
many
people.
hot takes.
So many hot takes. Anyway, so who are we?
I don't know.
Who are you? Tell us about yourself.
Don't ask me that. So I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Go Lions.
Go fucking Lions. Thank you. Yes. So I'm from Detroit, except that's a lie.
Yes.
I'm actually from Metro Detroit, so not the city.
What exactly does Metro Detroit mean? Because
So-
I've heard you say that and I never asked what it means.
Fantastic news.
Right.
So Detroit is in Wayne County in Michigan, in Southeast Michigan. And so if you also live in Wayne County, you are qualified as like Metro Detroit, which
Okay.
means like the suburbs of Detroit,
Okay.
that kind of thing. Like you're not the city and you're not the direct suburbs attached to Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
but you're like in the same county.
Cool.
I'm from Livonia. It sucks. I'm not a fan. And so I left. Where are you from, Jenny?
Girl, I don't know. Where am I from? I'm from this tiny little island up in the Nordic called Iceland. I tell people I'm from Reykjavik, which is the city, but that's also a lie.
Exactly.
We
We're
just
just
lie. It
liars
makes
here.
yes, it makes it easier. I'm from a tiny small town called Seltjarnarnes, which nobody can pronounce, and it's just easier to say I'm from Reykjavik. I also live there now. Like when I don't live there, I live in Los Angeles.
I was like, where are we?
Yes, we live in LA, but no, when I go home, like I live with my mom. I'm a child of divorce. Hell yeah, that's why I'm funny. It's okay. You're funny too. You're just a different kind of funny because
I just have other trauma.
you're a different kind of drama. And my dad still lives in Saltjadernes, but my mom moved to her neighborhood when my parents got divorced, thankfully. And I moved with my mom, and then I moved away. Now, why did I move away? That's the big question. Why did I move to the States? Why
Yeah,
am I
Greg,
here?
why did you come here? It sucks.
I know.
You could have gone anywhere.
No, I love America. Um, so we are actors.
This is true. That's probably important
That's a
context.
very important thing you need to
We should
know.
have said that
We're
earlier.
actors. That's why we wanted to make a podcast because we need an audience
Correct.
and attention. But no,
No one's
I
paying me right now,
exactly
so.
me neither. I was 15 when I knew that I was going to be an actor, but I was 14 when I visited New York. I have family in Connecticut, and I had visited them, and we went into Manhattan, and it was like the second time I'd been there, but the first time that I like really saw it. You know, I said to my mom and dad because they were together at the time and happy. I said, "I'm gonna live here one day," and they were both just like, "Oh, okay, sure." Didn't believe I would. Well, I proved you wrong. I'm here now. Well, not here now. I've gone further. Yeah, I decided to combine these two little dreams of mine and go to college in New York. That's where I met this lovely person named Jocelyn on my very first day.
Right. But
So-
ironically, I was also 14 the first time I went to New York. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I went my freshman year of high school and I was 14. We like were there for like 4 days and I like saw Wicked and I was like, I'm gonna die. The story of me choosing our school starts with me not choosing our school.
This is true.
I am a college dropout. Part of my trauma.
Yes.
So I was, let's see, insert loading sound. Thank you. I got stressed. It was quiet. I was 16 and I was applying to schools and I knew I wanted to move to New York, but I didn't know how else to do that without like going to school there. I thought that was like the most plausible way to move there, which like is true. I applied to schools and I applied to AMDA among many, many, many other schools, most of them in New York, among which is a school that I'm deciding if I want to name. Let's just say for now, I went to a Cooney school, and I'm not going to say which one. I applied there, I applied to AMDA, I applied to a bunch of other schools, and it basically came down to me deciding between the school I went to, AMDA, and the New York Film Academy. The school I went to was the cheapest, then NYFA was in the middle, and then AMDA was the most expensive. And so it eventually came down to the point where like I had to base this decision on like financial stuff. And so I picked the Cooney school because it was the cheapest one. I later learned why it was the cheapest one. Because not only did I go there for I'm just gonna like trauma dump at this point.
Hell yeah.
Not only did I go there being told by the school that they had like a performing arts department and I could get a BFA in theater. I get there. There's no BFA department. It's just BAs.
Bruh.
And it wasn't a theater degree. It was a theater history degree.
What?
So I went there wanting to sing and dance. And I ended up writing like a 12-page paper on Freak Flag from Shrek the Musical. And it was a good fucking paper. Thank you.
And I believe it. I believe it.
Me
What
at 17 was like, what is happening?
What
So
the fuck?
I did a show there because they did have like a theater department, but it just not like for degrees. So I did a show, dropped out. I went home for Christmas break and I just never went back. And it took like a week for my roommates to text me and be like, hey, are you okay? What do you think? That was the worst year of my life. I thought I had had the worst year of my life. And then all of that happened. And then I was like, oh no, it just gets worse. In that depression, literally, I was like looking at other schools, and I circled back around to AMDA. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, because I knew I was going to drop out before I actually left. So before I left, I did go on a couple tours. Because this was the other problem. I had a trip planned to New York in April of 2020. And I don't think I need to remind anyone about 2020. So trip
Right.
was promptly canceled. So I
Darn.
couldn't visit any of these schools.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me visit some schools before I leave New York, so I have a better idea. So I visited AMDA. I visited a couple other schools. And I honestly loved the vibe of AMDA.
Yeah.
We'll get into this, but AMDA New York and AMDA LA are very, very different.
Vastly
and I
different
have
schools.
very few bad things to say about AMDA New York in terms of faculty, incredible. Agreed. Like the people there, the friends I made, incredible. The classes, incredible. Most of my issues with AMDA as a whole are like admin stuff.
Oh, mainly, yeah.
But I loved it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to AMDA New York, which is ironic because I had applied there a year ago and got in. And so I like emailed my admissions advisor back and I was like, hey, Queen, can I still come? And she was like, sure.
Caitlin.
Yes, Caitlin, who we both ended up working for.
She was both of our admissions advisors. How do you say that? Admissions advisor.
There you go.
And then she was both of our bosses when we were student ambassadors.
So that's how I ended up in New York. And then on our first day of orientation, there was this Icelandic bitch in my orientation group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your turn.
My turn. So I applied to multiple schools too. And I actually, AMDA wasn't on my radar for me at first. I was like, NYU or nothing. Because
we were all there at one point.
I mean, yeah. I was too scared to apply to Juilliard. I don't know why. I should have done it.
I did. It didn't go well.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I just didn't get in.
And you know what? Yeah. We've all been there. Coming from Iceland, where, mind you, we have all of, hang on, let me do the math. I believe we have all of 5 colleges, like 5 universities in all of Iceland.
That's crazy.
I know. I mean, Iceland University is huge.
Fair.
For me, like at home, there's one acting program at all. Like, and it grants you a BA in acting, but it's so selective and it's so small that 10 people get in every 2 years. And then the 3rd year, there's not an application process because there's not room for more. It's small program.
That's crazy.
So it's really hard to get in. I applied to a few different schools. I heard of AMDA through my cousin Tara, who told me about her friend who went to this school in New York and then moved to LA and then won the green card lottery. And I was like,
what a fucking dream.
I know. I need that. I asked her, like, hey, so what was the school? And she was like, oh, it's called AMDA, I believe. And I looked it up and I was like, I saw the website and I was like, oh, it's like a full-blown, like, performing arts school. And that very much intrigued me because all the other schools that I applied to, they were all, like, universities with a theater program. One school that really, really intrigued me was SUNY Purchase, which isn't even in New York City.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was kind of like, that's my first choice. But then I didn't get in. Whoops.
Relate.
Yeah. There were some other schools there that I don't remember the names of. Also got into PACE.
Me as well.
Yes. And then I also got into AMDA. And
well, yes.
My story with my audition process to AMDA is kind of funny. So I had my audition on January 6th.
Like the January 6th?
Yeah. No, not January. That'd be crazy.
Sorry,
I didn't even realize.
That's immediately where my brain went. I gotta
yeah,
stop.
Cut it out.
I'm just making my life harder when I have to edit all of it out.
Exactly. You're the editor, babe. Yeah, it was 2022, so 2 years later. But it was January 6th specifically. And I remember because I was in isolation with COVID at the time. So I auditioned through Zoom.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, pandemic still going strong. My audition was supposed to be like a few days later, but it got moved up. And I was like, that's fine. January 2nd, my younger brother was diagnosed with COVID. And I was like, brother, literally. And my mom was like, get out of the house. And I moved in with my dad because my older brother and his girlfriend at the time also had COVID. So they moved into her place. Next day, we all get PCR tested. My dad is diagnosed positive. I'm still negative. My mom is still negative. My little brother goes to my dad's house. I go to my mom's house. Next day, my mom gets COVID. I'm still going strong. At a certain point, I was like, do I get it or does it get me?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I chose to get it. And then I auditioned for college. I think if I were to see that audition tape, I would be.
Oh, I never
ever want to
ever
see it.
want to see
Like, I
that.
truly, if AMDA ever were to release that, I would sue.
I had to watch mine.
What?
Finish your story.
Well, my story's kind of over. I had just auditioned, and I remember they asked me, how are you doing? And I was like, well, I have COVID. But yeah, that was about it. Tell me,
Okay.
what?
So
Why did you watch that?
not by choice. So I obviously had auditioned for AMDA over Zoom, got in, and then decided not to go. Whenever it was that I reached back out to them, they were like, yes, your admission is valid for 2 years. So you can come back at any time under the 2 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, great. When I went on that tour, I went on the tour, and then after the tour, I talked to him, and I was like, hey, like, I actually, like, previously applied, decided not to go here. Now I'm thinking of transferring, just wanted to, like, pick your brain about some things, whatever. He, like, walked me through, like, all the transfer stuff because it was a little bit complicated. And AMDA took none of my credits.
Of course not.
AMDA LA did, but
Yes.
not New York. And he, like, walked it through, and he was like, actually, like, what's your name? Like, let me look up, like, your application and everything. And I thought he meant, like, application, which, like, he did. But I gave him my name, and he, like, looks through my application, and he's like, yeah, this all looks great, and then he pulls up and he was like, well, let's look at your audition. And I was like, let's look at what? My who? Because even by that point, I was embarrassed by it, because, like, it was not good. I was in my room against my sage green closet. That was the closest I could get to, like, a blank wall.
Oh, nobody told me about a blank wall. I had my normal wall behind me.
But I was like, okay. And so he pulls it up. He's like, let's watch it. I was like, let's do what? No. So we watch it. I blocked it out of my memory because it was so bad. He was able to pull up all of the comments from the adjudicating faculty. I don't think I've ever told you this.
What?
And Mark Ryherd was one of the people that watched my audition.
Shut
and I am
up.
so thankful he never held that against me when we were in his class.
What did he say about it?
I don't remember.
So Mark Ryherd at the time was the head of the acting department at AMDA New York.
So
he
it was
is
him.
A god.
Yeah, so Mark had watched it, like, left comments, and so, like, he went over the comments with me, because what we decided in this meeting that I had with this guy was that I should re-audition, not for admission because I was already in, but just re-audition for scholarships.
Yeah.
That was the point of, like, watching my audition. And he was like, well, let's see what they said. Let's see what you can improve on. We did that, and then they came to Detroit, and I re-auditioned in person, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And
always better.
What's-his-face worked it.
Wait.
Yes. I want to say, like,
Luke?
Yes. He was the one that worked it.
Really?
In Detroit. And I didn't, like, obviously know that until then we were working one day, and I was like, oh my god, you're the guy that ran my audition.
Yes.
But yeah, I, like, re-auditioned in Detroit in person, which was actually really nice, significantly better. Still would never want to see it, but better. And I did get more money, which was good.
Nice.
But yeah, I did have to watch my tape, and it sucked. Don't recommend.
No. I don't ever want to see mine.
No. I was like, I know I, like, acted in mine.
Oh, I acted in mine too.
I acted so hard.
But I mean, we didn't know how to act.
No,
we
that was
hadn't
the point.
studied it. And I'm like, yes, there's people with raw talent. That was not me. I mean, it was there. Like, I know I always had the talent. I've always been there to perform.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I loved attention as a kid, and I still do.
Oh, yeah.
But I needed the tools. That is something that I got from the training that we went through.
Because you don't need a degree. Like, in this field, you don't need a degree. A lot of people don't have degrees, but it wasn't about the degree for me. It was about the training.
It was the training.
That's what I needed.
Needed and wanted.
So it came from the form of a degree, but yeah.
So we both wanted to study acting.
Correct.
To become actors, which we now are. But we did, like, briefly meet during orientation, because we were in the same orientation
because
group.
I remember running around a CVS.
Yes.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I remembered your face, but
I don't remember, like, you.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, first ever day of classes.
Yes.
Goodness gracious,
We were in the same
traumatizing.
cohort.
Yes. Like, you
Yes.
had that one group for every single class.
Yes.
And that's how it worked
For the whole semester.
Yeah. Which I'm, like, grateful for, but it also brought problems. Like, it's hard in a way, but it's also great in a way.
Yes.
So mind you, I'm 19 years old, moving away from my country to one of the biggest cities in the world, New York City. And our first class was dance.
It was dance.
And first
Leo's
semester,
at 8 a.m.
Yes. First semester dance, or movement for the actor.
Right, because we're not dancers.
No.
Ironically, I am a dancer.
Yes, you are.
But according to this school, apparently not.
Like, I could be, if I become a star one day, I could be on Dancing with the Stars and get to the final.
That's ultimately my only goal with this career, is a long, long ploy for me to get on Dancing with the Stars. That's truly all I want.
And you know, you have lore with that because you've watched Dancing with the Stars your whole life.
I've watched it my whole life.
You know why I want to do it?
Because your mom.
Yes. So my mom, so you know me. My mom used to be a ballroom dancer back in the day, and she won, I believe, multiple national titles in Iceland, and she put me in ballroom dancing when I was 5. And I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part, but then I was like, no, soccer. And it would just be such a full circle moment. And then I would win.
Right.
And you would win too, because you'd be on the season before me.
Right.
And we
not
would
competing.
not compete against each other, because I wouldn't want that.
No. No.
It would be there front and center for every performance of yours.
You'd be
and
like,
then you would hand me the mirror ball the next year.
Yes. You'd be like Lisa Ann Walter this season with Elaine, just like crying in the audience constantly.
Every single night.
I love her.
Anyway, back to the story. So we had dance, and we had to wear leotards and tights and character heels. And this was the first time
all black.
First time in my life that I had to wear a leotard with tights and heels. I'm like shaking thinking about this. It was so traumatizing. I hated it so much. I like the body dysmorphia. And I show up. I remember I show up. Everybody's already there waiting, and there's like a few people in our class. One guy in our class had already done a semester of musical theater, and I remember like showing up, and he was talking to some of the girls, and the way that he was talking, I was like, oh no, these people know what they're doing, because he was just so cocky.
Yes.
You know, he was just like, oh well, yeah.
Yes.
And I was there like, why do these people know what's going on? Nobody knew what was going on. We go to that one class, and it was so terrifying, and it was so horrifying seeing myself in a leotard, and the body dysmorphia was just all over the place.
Yeah. But I was also used to seeing myself in a leotard. Like,
I was not
stopped seeing myself in a leotard by that point.
You did gymnastics.
Yes.
You're used to that.
So I was used to it from 2 to 17.
Yes.
And so then at 19, and I turned 19 while we were there, where I was actually 18 that day, if we're being specific.
Yeah. And like, mind you, I hadn't been in a leotard since I was 7 years old.
I was used
when
to
I
it.
quit gymnastics.
Yeah.
You know?
The weirdest part for me was not wearing shorts, because I was a gymnast that would die with shorts.
Understandable.
Like,
I get that.
Absolutely not. Like, I could not do a no shorts. And so that's what threw me off.
But I truly was like, I don't know how this does. Like, I was freaking out. Class is over. I'll go to the bathroom to change. And I met you formally and Kennedy.
Yes.
And you guys seem to be friends.
She was also in our orientation group.
Yes.
And her and I met like first day, first orientation meeting, because I was like, this is a really funny story. We were first day, and I was like not popular in any way whatsoever in high school. Like, I quite literally had 2 friends, and I was like 2 friends by choice. Like, I was totally fine with that. But I was never like the outgoing type. I was like, first day of college, like orientation, we're sitting in a meeting, sitting there, and then this girl came and sat next to me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to compliment her jacket, because she seems cool, and like, I'm going to do this. And I like really had to fucking hype myself up to do this. And I was like, hey, like, I really like your jacket. It's really cool. And Kennedy was like, oh my God, thanks. And whatever, like classic girl interaction. And then like, now this woman is like one of my best friends. Like,
that's so cute.
So point is, yes, God. we were together in that locker room.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw you too. And I also had to work up the nerve for this. I walked up to them and I said, "Guys, I'm really nervous today. I'm kind of terrified to be here. Like, can I hang out with you guys?" I'm like at the brink of tears.
We're in college, and she's like, "Can we play together?"
Literally want to be my friend. But that was literally, I was like,
You were in tears.
I was in tears.
Like, you were full sobbing.
It was so scary. I was so
No,
scared that
fair.
day.
Yes.
Like, it was terrifying. And like, I called my mom again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Those first few weeks, and especially like the first day, I like tearing up in dance class. Didn't fully cry.
Yeah, no.
Cried when I like asked you guys to be my friends. Then we had
Yes.
VPS, which is voice production and speech.
Yes.
And Angela asked us.
Oh my God, that's right. You cried so much this day.
Yeah, I know. Every class.
I forgot how much
Angela,
you cried.
our teacher, asked us why we got into acting.
Right.
And it was like such a dramatic thing for me because I was like, I mean, I realized it when I was 15, but then like when I was 18 and I got into my high school production of Fame,
right,
my parents were getting divorced and my life was being torn apart, and I crashed my car, and life really wasn't working well for me at the beginning of the year 2021. Okay, yeah.
Moment of silence. Same.
Can you hold space for that?
Thank you, space.
Thanks, space. But yeah, and what really like what acting did for me was whenever I was in rehearsal for Fame, everything else was blocked out. Like, I really didn't think about my parents. I didn't think about the fact that I was moving from my home, and like everything was uprooted. And I remember like tearing up, telling everybody about that. I was like, yeah, it was therapeutic. But it was. And then we had acting technique with Brian O'Neill.
First of all, fucking love him.
Yes.
Second of all, I love that you remember this entire schedule because
this entire schedule is engraved in my brain.
All I remembered up until this conversation was dance.
Yeah.
And
me crying. It is so fine to cry. It's actually good to cry because you might find your friends.
Put that on a t-shirt.
That's right. And I've always said that. But funny thing is, we were really great friends and like hung out a lot during first semester.
Yes.
And then we were put in separate cohorts.
Yes.
In second.
Yes. We went like no contact.
Yeah. Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way, just in like a platonic
like didn't
way.
Run in the same circles.
Yeah.
I did my own thing, you did your own thing, and like I didn't see you.
No, truly.
Like,
and that's the thing about these cohorts. It's like you're with the same 10 to 12 people.
Yes.
And you truly do not see anyone else unless it's like outside of school hours.
Yeah. You had a great cohort in second semester.
Well,
ish.
Yeah. I had the better out of the three, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I made some of my best friendships in that cohort, and I solidified some friendships that I already had. However, I would also argue that my cohort produced the most program-wide drama of that semester.
I know. I remember that.
Like, we were the best cohort, and yet the most fucking dramatic. We also
did. Cohort.
We did.
Tell the story about this cohort.
Okay, so you got your assignments for your cohort, right? And they would say like, non-negotiable. But if you found someone in another cohort that was willing to trade with you, they would allow that. So me and my closest friends at the time, not like at the time, like we're still friends. That sounded dramatic. Let me start over. Makes me sound like I killed Kennedy and Sophia. Anyway, I didn't kill Kennedy and Sophia.
No.
I don't know why there are cops outside.
Actually, I'm a cop. And you just confessed to the crime. I've been waiting for you to confess for 3 years.
Anyway. Is that what this is?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
You've been punked!
You're telling me if you were a cop, your dream punchline would be... Yes. Anyway, so if you found someone that was willing to trade with you, you could trade. So me and my group of friends that I had come to create that first semester were like guys, we're gonna pull the best cohort scheme that Amda's ever fucking seen.
I knew it.
And so we figured out like which cohort already had the most of us in it, and then those who were not in that cohort found people in that cohort to trade with them. We all traded, and somehow it worked where my little friend group at the time, we all got in the same cohort. AMDA then banned the cohort switching policy. And I'd like to thank the Academy for this honor.
I remember getting that email and being like, these fuckers.
there was like a school-wide...
Like, they ruined it for everyone.
There was a school-wide email sent out, and I remember getting text in that group chat that was like, you fuckers, like, you ruined it, because everyone knew it was us.
It was literally like, you ruined everything, you stupid bitch. Would you do it again?
Yes.
Right.
I would argue, though, that it came back around to bite us. Yeah. I think that was our karma for ruining it for everyone.
It's not...
Which is why I said earlier, like, we were the, I would say, like, the quote-unquote, like, better cohort of the three, but we also then had the most drama out of the acting department that semester.
I really didn't know what was going on with anybody else during
you
second
had
semester.
Stuff
I had
going
shit.
On. Yeah.
I had stuff. My cohort, specifically in second semester,
yes,
it is a story for another episode. But what I can tell you is that if I had the choice to be in a room with exactly that group of people or take a bullet to the head, the gun would go off. I hated that group. Yeah, so we really didn't see each other in second semester, and I was in my own little world, and then we both went home for the summer to work. Came back in third. Yes. We were in the same cohort, but we didn't live in the same building, so we like really didn't run in the same circles anymore.
Yes, because we had created our
own friend.
I would say that your first semester cohort is like freshman year of college, friend group.
Yes.
So in second semester, we both made our own friends.
Yeah.
And they weren't in the same circles.
Yeah.
And so then third semester, we were in the same cohort, and like we had our own people by that point.
And
by that point, you have
your different buildings. That place
we lived in different boroughs.
Exactly. And it played such a big part. Like at AMDA, I noticed like you hung out with the people that were in the same building as you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then in fourth, we also weren't together in a cohort.
No.
We were split up. I will say I was in the better
You were in the better cohort of that one, 100%.
For sure.
And
we all know it.
Have so many stories I can tell. The reason I have issues with AMDA admin is related to the fourth semester cohorts. Yes. But yes, you 100% had the better cohort.
For sure.
100%. However, I was very, very lucky that the like 3 friends I had in my fourth semester cohort, we were fucking solid.
I did notice that.
And then there was a lot of fucking issues.
Oh, for sure. Then we moved to Los Angeles, both of us. Well, we graduated from the New York program.
Correct.
Both went home for the summer to work because we are working ladies. And we were...
I have no job at the moment.
We were working ladies. Unpaid production of any. Then we both moved to LA.
Yes.
And coincidentally, we became roommates.
Yes. Purely by
coincidence.
Random.
Yeah, we didn't request each other. I wasn't even...
We didn't even talk.
No, I wasn't even
sure.
I
low-key didn't even know you were moving to LA.
Me too, man.
Fantastic.
See, look at us.
Who would have thought? Not me. Yes. Okay, hang on. I'm breaking things.
Hold. I had only requested Natalie.
Yes.
Natalie. There were 3 of us in this marriage.
There were literally 3 of us.
So it's a bit crowded. You'll meet her later. No, yeah. Natalie and I had met in New York.
Yes.
We have a great story for how we met, and we will get to that when we have Natalie as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she worked at the cafe, and we became friends kind of through that. She had 1 more year of school because she had been doing like online, and she had finished the conservatory. I was very relieved when she told me that she was going to go to LA because I was like, okay, I have somebody that can be my roommate, because that was also something that I was scared for. In New York, I had all of, I believe, 9 different roommates.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I had 2.
Yeah. So I had one in first and second, and then she dropped out halfway through
Right.
second. So I was in a single room essentially. In third, I had 2 roommates.
Right.
And then I had 5. So it was 8 roommates.
But still, I had 2.
Yeah. I had 5 roommates in my last semester. I really don't like the random roommate thing anymore. Like, not that there were like issues with my former roommates. Very much just like over the whole random roommate thing. So when Natalie was going, I was like, oh, thank God, she and I can be roommates. And we had such a hard time. We were moved, I believe, 3 times around the AMDA LA campus before we got settled in Bungalow 5. Long live. And I saw you on the list, and then our other 2 roommates that were there. We were 5 together in that house. I remember texting you, and I was like, oh my God, girl, we're roommates.
Like, I just completely, like, raw dogged the rooming assignments every year.
Yeah.
Like, I did my first semester. Ooh, that's a fucking story. Second semester, I lived alone because I was an RA. Then third and fourth, I lived with my literal wife, Sophia.
Yes.
So moving to LA, I really didn't know anyone that was moving to LA because I really didn't know that you were. Because I feel like the last we talked about it, you were unsure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just went random on roommates. I was originally assigned to Bungalow 5.
Yeah.
It was me, one of our other roommates, and then 2 other girls. And then you texted me one day.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh my God, we're living together. And in my head, I was like, no, we're not.
She was like, this bitch.
I was like,
this
so
bitch from Iceland. Shut
wrong.
up. Can't stand her ass.
Yeah. And I was like, no. And then I checked by the portal and I was like, yeah. And so it was me, still me and one of our roommates. And then the 2 of you were added along with our 5th roommate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rest is history.
Pretty
Honestly.
much, yeah.
Yeah. I only had 2 more semesters at AMDA LA because I finally got my credits transferred from Iceland.
Right.
So I finished early, which was nice.
Yes.
So we lived together for like that 1 year. We really trauma bonded over a mutual enemy. This is why we're best friends.
Honestly, yeah. We needed a common enemy.
Yes.
And boy, did we find one.
Indeed, we did. And specifically, what Natalie and I had been told was, you will not be moved again. And I saw, we should come up with a name. Linda.
No.
Do you know a Linda?
Yeah, like
Fuck.
one of my best friends named Linda.
Darn. Okay, not
I
Linda.
fucking love you, Linda. Linda sang with Cynthia Erivo. What? Sorry. Linda fucking sang with Cynthia Erivo like a week ago. Like with Cynthia Erivo. Linda, I feel like your proud mother at the moment. So Cynthia did like a concert in Palm Springs, Palm Desert, like where Linda lives. Like they were in like the orchestra and Linda was sitting like in an aisle seat. And for one of the songs, like Cynthia like came out into the house and was like singing up and down the aisles. And like, if there's one thing Linda's going to do, it's fucking sing along. Yes. And as she should.
Yes, Linda.
So Linda's like singing along and then Cynthia like holds the mic up to her and like Linda fucking eats Boots' house down. I will show you the clip when we're not recording. And then like Cynthia like gets in there with her and like sings. And like, it was like 10 seconds, but like sang with Cynthia Erivo. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's my dream.
Anyway.
Hannah? Do you know a Hannah?
I don't think I know a Hannah that I like.
You know a Hannah that you don't like?
I know many Hannahs I don't like.
The roommate.
Yes. That's ominous.
Let's call her the roommate.
That took 15 minutes to decide.
Let's call her the roommate.
Correct. I like.
And I'd known her since before I moved to New York because we had some like accepted students reception online together. And then throughout AMDA New York, we never had any classes together. We were different programs. There was just a lot of stuff that one heard and all that jazz. And
because I never met her in New York, but I knew who
everybody
she was.
knew about her.
Yeah.
Saw her on the rooming assignment and I was like, okay, but I mean, we're not going to be moved. And I told Natalie about it and I was like, I mean, like, we'll just see what happens. And
boy, did we see.
Boy, did we see what happened. Because, oh my God, moving alone is a whole episode.
Why?
It was so overstimulating that Jocelyn's brother and your dad left. My mom left. She does not get overstimulated. She got overstimulated there. compared to other AMDA dorms, we had a great one.
Fantastic.
There was so much space. We literally
Correct.
had a living room.
Yes.
It was wonderful. This mutual enemy, like we lived with her for one semester, and truly it brought us together because I remember getting irritated immediately. And I bitched about this with my mom while she was there.
So did I.
And I didn't say anything to anybody because I was
Me
like,
too.
I'm gonna give it a minute because maybe it's just me. And then we had like our first day of classes, and I mentioned something to you.
Yes.
But you didn't really react to it, so I was like, oh no, she likes her.
No.
I was scared. But I think it was just like your brain was in a different place.
Probably.
So you were kind of just like, okay, you know?
I do zone out a lot.
Yes. And I don't fully remember when we all, like you, me, and Natalie realized we were on the same page.
I think it was our first Piazza dinner.
Piazza dinner? Yes.
I think it was the first time we did that.
Because
Because that was the first time that 3 of us were actually secluded in a place where we could talk that wasn't our house.
Everybody just let it out. We had this thing every Friday where we would, as soon as I got out of class, because I got out of class the
Yes, it was
latest.
Jenny's world, and we were just living in it.
Always. The whole premise of it, honestly, was that we didn't want to be in our house because
we couldn't be ourselves to an extent in that house.
It was a really...
comfortably.
Yes, it was a really toxic household, honestly. It was very, very tense and uncomfortable for us. But yeah, that's when we became friends.
Yes.
Like truly, truly friends.
Yes. We were like college friends before that.
Now you still go to AMDA.
Unfortunately.
Darn.
I'm really fucking close though. Like,
I know, you're almost there.
I'm almost there.
And I'm done, which is really hard too.
Yeah, it's hard in its own way.
Yeah. It's hard just being out of college. Now we have a podcast.
We do.
And this is honestly just us hanging out and yapping.
It really is.
And calling it productive.
Correct.
And hopefully people like hearing what we have to say. I know our moms are listening to this.
If nothing else.
If nothing else, our moms are listening to this. That's all, folks.
And that's all she wrote.
And that's all she wrote. But okay, so this podcast is called That's My Line.
Correct. I don't know why we both sat up for this. Now it's business, bitch.
So at the end of each episode, I am going to give Jocelyn a line. And she's going to give me a line. And we're going to guess who said it. So like, whose line is it?
I think for us, the premise of the game doesn't just have to be famous, like, movie quotes, celebrity lines. Like, we can also say things from our lives.
Oh, for sure. Should the first one be something like that? Hold on. Okay, I got something. Whose line is it?
Okay.
Don't you dare laugh at that. I'll come over there and beat the poop out of you. Who said that? Do you want me to deliver it like they would?
Yes. Yeah, if you could do the impression, that would be great.
Don't you dare laugh at that. I'll come over there and beat the poop out of you.
I don't know if that helped.
I don't know if I did that well.
So, do you want to know my honest to God first thought was?
Yes.
And I know it's wrong. Paul Lieber.
Good guess.
Really?
But no.
Shit.
But you're on the right track.
Was it a teacher?
Yes.
LA.
No. New York.
Mark Ryherd.
Yes. Great work. Okay. Your turn.
Shit. I didn't think of one. I got one.
Okay.
Whose line is it? Like a man.
What?
Should I? It's a two-parter. Do you want the second part?
Yes.
So the first one was like a man. The second one is yes, like a man. Do you want a hint?
Yes.
It's a line from a scene that two people we know said, but it is now evolved.
Wait, say that again. So it's a
person
scene?
A would go like a man.
Yes, like wait, is this Toter and Jake?
Yes.
I'm a grown up.
I was gonna do that, but I was like, that's too obvious. I wanted it to be a little bit difficult.
So
such a good one.
I know. Yeah, Toter and Jake were our classmates.
Yes.
In Absurdist
and non-linear theater.
Yes. That was
and
a
boy,
fun class. And boy, did they deliver. It was so absurd. And boy, did they deliver in that scene.
Yes.
Like a man. Yes, that's like a man. Oh. Well, Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
If any of you listened to this first ever episode
Right.
of
If
That's My
nothing,
Line.
hi, Mom.
Hi, Mama.
Hey, Queen.
Hva säger du?
Yeah, me too.
What she said.
So this has been That's My Line.
With Jen and Joss. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
See you next episode.